How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 6 Chapter 8. This is Episode 8 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues, Season 6. In this episode 1 we'll be discussing the architecture of the system beyond mastery, beyond accepting responsibility for everyone and everything, as set out in the final book of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix, the complete series. Mastery of the system entails the recognition that one manifests the substance of being, orchestrating others in one's experience into manifesting the narratives of affirmation and abnegation. It entails recognition that one is responsible for everyone and everything, that even time marches to the drum set by you. Once one has accepted one's ultimate responsibility for one's experience, in a fundamental way, accepting that one is responsible for the substance of creation, then one will find that certain things occur in one's immediate surroundings. First of all, there are two forms of action within the context of mastery. First, there is action which is further to a role or archetype. Second, there is action which is fundamentally new, which results in experiential learning, which relies upon an idea of something. In the case of archetypal mastery, this produces hierarchy or subordination of others within one's sphere of control to the manifestation of one's impulses. In other words, overlaid upon the corners, so to speak, of one's action, will be the manifestation of the impulses of others, acting out the impulses of others further to the role assignment, constellation. Now that subordination is effectively transitory, since in different narratives different individuals will have archetypal superiority, thus the mastery represented by the archetype is akin to a baton in a relay race. Each person in their particular sphere of activity dictates the actions of other participants further to the manifestation of their impulses further to their archetype and the given archetypal constellation. In other words, mastery of the system becomes a cooperative rather than zero-sum endeavor, with each master manifesting their impulses in the interests of the group, for a time, before retiring their position to the next. This is usually the case except when children are involved, who ordinarily manifest the impulses of their caregivers, unwilling or perhaps deprived of the extent of responsibility represented by mastery. Being subordinate to another's impulses is akin to being a passenger in a narrative created by reflexive role assignments. Choosing to reject one's ultimate mastery of the archetype has the effect of subordinating one to a passenger role regardless of one's knowledge or actual resources. The nature or content of a passenger's experience is reflexive, rather akin to reactive thoughts responsive to the internal thoughts and prejudices of the master, albeit temporarily, such that in escaping the sphere of control of the one holding the baton is akin to dialectical thoughts. Anyway, if you wish to learn more about mastery of the system, please review the 5th book of the complete series, called The Architecture of Reality. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.